Howdy there, folks. I'm Gene the Pink Panther, and after that very embarrassing defeat I had against this stupid fucking walrus, let's go ahead and kick his ass this time. So I decided to skip straight to the boss, because the level's so fucking short, who gives a shit, really? So, the basic concept of this boss, I can't remember if I described it at the end of part 1 or not, because I got the shit kicked out of me. Basically, the walrus blows up this ball bubble thing, and then you're supposed to jump on it and pop it while it's on his face. Like so. And then he gets hurt by it. It's actually incredibly easy to do, and, you know, he'll try and bounce Sonic all around. You don't want to fight him when he tries doing that. Just let him bounce you, and then you go over when he starts blowing up the bubble, and you hit him again. Despite all that, I'm still having a hard time for some reason. I don't know why. This is one of the easiest bosses in this game, and yet I'm just having a bitch of a time fighting him. I keep screwing up my timing with him, and it's shameful, really, but I don't care. I don't care. Who cares if I do terrible here? I mean, I kick every other boss in this game's ass pretty bad, so I can afford to have one subpar boss battle, can't I? But finally, the fucking walrus dies. Thank God. And with that, we're finally done with Aquatic Lake? Is it Aquatic Lake? We'll find out. Let's see. I should say, right? I guess not. Well, whatever. We're done with that zone. We're gonna move on to Green Hills zone. Not Green Hill, Green Hills. This, I don't know why they're calling it Green Hills. Why don't they just go with Green Hill? Fucking crab. That happens to me a lot in this game. It's something that really irks me, is that there's stuff, like foreground objects, that the enemies hide behind, and I can never fucking see them. It's actually gonna fuck me over again in this video. But you'll see that. Anyway, I don't know why they're calling it Green Hills Zone. Why not just Green Hill or something? I don't know. It looks just like Green Hill. Although the music is very different from Green Hill's music. It's actually a song that we're going to be hearing again, I actually think a couple of times. But we will definitely be hearing it again in a few games. Like a few games from now. It's very fantastic. Or at least we're going to be hearing it in an extra video. Well, maybe not extra. I might just put it at the beginning. I don't know. But we'll hear it again is what I'm getting at. It's pretty fantastic. I like it a lot. And I don't know why this wasn't the first zone. I mean, look at that. There were so many rings and free men everywhere, and I don't know why this wasn't the first zone in the game. Well, it's probably because Act 3 is absolute bullshit, but Act 1 and 2 are fine. There's nothing really tough about them. So, I don't know. So, maybe I should talk a little bit about Miles Tails Prower. You know, our bestest buddy. The person we're going to all this trouble and chasing after the big bad Eggman to save him. Fucking Spikes. I say these acts are really easy, Act 1 and 2, and they are, but for some reason I still fucked up. I know, this playthrough's horrible, but whatever. Anyway, Miles Tails Prower. He's our bestest buddy. He's one of the youngest members of the Sonic cast, and Sonic loves him, and he loves Sonic. Sonic would do anything for Tails. Except maybe sleep together. I don't know. I'm not completely sure on how much they love each other, but whatever. Who cares, right? It doesn't matter. They're definitely bestest... Oh, fucking Spikes. They're definitely bestest buds, though. They love each other. Which is why we have to go to all this trouble to save him. He's an ordinary two-tailed fox who apparently runs as fast as Sonic, and he can actually fly, but that's not actually established until... Well, actually, he flies in the next game that we're going to play. You just can't control it. But I'm getting ahead of myself now, aren't I? Anywho, we're at Act 3 of Green Hills Zone, and this act is one of the only levels that I can see why people would consider overwhelmingly tough. And, like one of the hardest Sonic levels ever. It's an Act 3, which means you get no rings for the whole act, so you get hit once, you die. And it involves a lot of navigating on springs, like bouncing on springs, and avoiding fucking spikes. It is just a massive bitch and a half to go through, and I died twice during this playthrough, during this recording, and I decided to cut those deaths out because you guys don't want to see them. It's just me going through this and fucking up. Believe me, you're going to see me fuck up plenty. Anyway, though, we're at the Sumo Pig boss, who is actually kind of tough. He's a lot easier in the Game Gear version, and I got so fucking lucky right there. That actually should have hit me. He actually should have hurt me right there and killed me. See, when he's curled up in a ball like that, you cannot hurt him. If you touch him, you will die. So you need to only jump on him when he de-balls, if you will. And it's actually pretty simplistic. You usually just jump over him whichever way he's coming. Any way he moves on the screen, you can actually jump over if you time it right. So it's a very simple boss battle. You know, the level's a bitch, but the boss is pretty simple. Oh shit, I forgot to talk about the Chaos Emerald in Green Hills Zone. Well, you guys actually saw it. There's a certain part where you have to roll down a ramp and then it'll shoot you up on top of a loop-de-loop and then it's just right up there. Or, no. You have to bounce on a set of springs and then it's up there. That's what it is. I'm sorry, folks. You guys saw it in the video. It's one of the easiest Chaos Emeralds to get, if not the easiest. So, you know. Anyway, we're at Gimmick Mountain? Yeah, Gimmick Mountain Zone, and it has the twirling, spinny platforms that were in Scrap Brain Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, and these ones are a lot easier to manage than the ones in Scrap Brain, and yet they're still mandatory to use to get through it. See, Scrap Brain in Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, you don't ever have to use these spinny platforms. At least not really. You don't have to use them the way they're designed. This place also has bombs that were in Scrap Brain Zone. This place has a lot of things that were in Scrap Brain, and fucking drill robots coming at you as soon as you get done in the frickin' pipe warp thing. Not warp, but the speed pipe pathway thing. Friggin' tries to jump you, and it drives me crazy. But yeah, anyway, this place has a lot of gimmicks, lots and lots of spikes. This is where difficulty kind of starts going up. Honestly, Act 3 of Green Hills Zone is probably the second hardest level in the game. But, you know, whatever. You have to wait for platforms in order to progress up through the whole area, and it's not that bad. Very simple timing. It is a lot harder in the Game Gear version. I can't remember if I mentioned in Part 1 or not, but I will be playing the Game Gear version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. However, though, it will not be for quite a while. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the Sega Game Gear and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Game Gear are being saved as placeholders for me for later. Which I'll talk about more when we get towards that timeline, but wait a minute, did we just go left to finish the level? Seriously, we went left to go through the sign. You never go left, ever, in a Sonic game. Never. As you saw, I got a Sonic icon when I went through that sign. I don't know what triggers the Sonic icon. There has to be something that makes, you know, it appear. But when you get the Sonic icon, you get a free man. Huzzah! But anyway, this is one of the more dickish Chaos Emeralds because it's in a fucking invisible wall. How the hell were you supposed to discover that on your own? It's in a freaking invisible wall. I won't lie, when I first played this, I had to look up on GameFAQs where to find this fucking Chaos Emerald, because it's in a goddamn invisible wall. How am I supposed to fucking find it if it's in a wall? You know, again, I don't know if they thought that the previous Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 1 for the Game Gear / Master System were too easy to find, or what. But, yeah. That's where the 5th? Is it? Yeah, it's the 5th. The 5th Chaos Emerald is. So, huzzah! It was the red Chaos Emerald. You guys saw it. At least, hopefully you did. Again, because I'm using an old version of Windows Movie Maker, fucking bomb! Spring friggin' shot me straight into a bomb. How am I supposed to dodge that? It's bullshit. And, again, like I said, something hiding behind a pole. Something in the foreground. I had no idea that enemy was there, and I ran right into it. I hate that. It's like the worst design thing in this game. Okay, that time was completely my fault right there, but still. And roll down the ramp into spikes. Walk, forget to jump, fall in spikes. I have no rings. Up, I jump over the bomb, and I get hit by the explosion. Fuck. So, rather than make you guys watch all that level again, we're just gonna go ahead and, you know, jump cut to the same exact point and keep going, because we're right at the fucking end of the level anyway. God damn. Gimmick Mountain Zone's actually not that bad, but dickish things like that make it annoying. At least Act 2. Act 1 wasn't very bad. Act 3 is really easy, actually. It's one of the easier Act 3s in the game. Because all you're doing in it is riding on a platform, pretty much. That's pretty much it. Riding on a platform, and yeah, that's it. You just avoid the spikes, because, well, you don't want to touch them, because you'll die. These conveyor belts don't mean anything. They're not like the Scrap Brain conveyor belts. Like I said, Gimmick Mountain Zone's a lot like Scrap Brain, only a lot easier. But yeah, you're just riding on this platform. We're gonna ride this straight to the boss, pretty much. The only thing I will say for sure, though, is you want to jump off right here and wait for it to come back down, because then it will go towards the left, like that, and we can continue riding it. If you stayed on it, it would take you up to the spikes, which would, you know, poke you and you'd die. And if you went ahead and tried to go on without it, then, well, as you can see, you wouldn't get very far because you'd die. And yeah, that's it for Act 3. We're at the boss. And it is the mechanical warthog. And, again, this boss is really easy. You wait until it gets right near you, then you jump straight up. That's it. You wait until it races, gets right near you, you jump up, land on it, bounce away. That's it. That's all there is to it. If you're a little bit off in your jumping and, you know, you land on it a little too early, such as that, rocks will fall from the ceiling. They will kill you if they hit you, but they're so easy to dodge. You'll get away from them so fast. This boss is really easy. I don't know what to say. And yeah, that's all I got. It's really easy. I actually think this is the last hit right here. Huzzah! We killed the mechanical warthog. And we're gonna defy gravity and hit the roboticizer. I love how when you jump into the roboticizing UFOs that it kind of defies gravity for a bit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all like breakfast, because we're going to Scrambled Egg Zone in Part 3. See you then.